Nithyanandam Paramashukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Nithyanandam, welcome to the Nithyananda Rudra show. We again have a beautiful podcast for you all, sharing about the message of Swami Vivekananda. And today we're going to be discussing some of the interesting points, especially seeing Vivekananda through the lens of another incarnation, our beloved Bhagavan, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramamashivam. How he sees Swami Vivekananda and how the way he sees is actually maybe properly the best way you can even see him in the world today. And something that every young person who even knows about Vivekananda should know about and aspire for. So, myself, my name is Sri Nithyananda, and my introduction to Swami Vivekananda, of course, was in a younger age when I actually played him in a skit in one of our dramas that we had a Hindu Sunday school we'd go to. And my Purvashkan father, he'd make me memorize almost one of the verses that Vivekananda would quote from Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. And I had gone in front of the audience and recited it. Sarvadeva Namaskaram Sri Keshvam Pradikachiyati. There's some verse where he says that all the rivers merge into the ocean like all religions lead to the same goal. That there was a universalism about whatever he spoke. That was one of the themes that was first introduced to me about Vivekananda. And after that, meeting Swamiji and seeing how he himself has took inspiration from Vivekananda, reading Swamiji's books and all. And then finally being able to embrace the same kind of lifestyle as Vivekananda. And the more, and after that, of course, after taking Sannyas, I had an opportunity to read, I think, Vivekananda's biographies in one of the Chaturmasya periods. So at that time, we were doing the Shastra Dhyana, and I picked up the book of Vivekananda's biography. And it was beautiful. Everything that I learned from Swamiji, that he said Vivekananda did this, I actually saw it on paper in his biography about how he lived it all. So Sugata Maharaj and Mangala Maharaj, both of you can share also now. Where did you get introduced to him, and what is the best takeaway you've had from how Swamiji has introduced Vivekananda to you?
Yes, Maharaj. So, first time I got introduced to Swami Vivekananda was by Swamiji, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. And before that, I have not heard about Swami Vivekananda. And I feel very happy and fortunate about it, because it's always best to be introduced to any enlightened being from the person who is experiencing the same consciousness and the same highest consciousness. So you don't get, because there's a lot of things about enlightened masters which are trying to move you away from the actual truth what they revealed. So there's a lot of inauthentic sources of information about it. So naturally, having an incarnation reveal about those beings is the best thing that can happen. And I had a amazing opportunity and fortune to be one of those people to hear directly from Swamiji about Swami Vivekananda. And they take on one thing which, I remember very well Swamiji told that one of the principles that Swami Vivekananda taught is that you don't need thousands of truths, for you to achieve the goal. But you can pick up only five powerful cognitions, 5 truths, and practice those in your life. And by only 5 of those, you'll be able to, achieve and experience and live in that space of highest consciousness.
You're beautiful. This is something that Swami told that Vivekananda had guided his disciples in the same way. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. I think that same guidance goes into our life.
So early on, I've heard about Swami Vivekananda, as part of the Ramakrishna mission and the Ramakrishna Mutt. But actually getting to know, okay, what did Vivekananda, other than being one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, other than that, there isn't much else I knew about it. Before joining Gurukul, my Purva from parents, we used to go to the Ramakrishna Mike and, see around, see actually the books was the most interesting part for me. The number of books which you could buy, even not just books for a more mature or adult audience, but even for the young kids, because I was small at that time. So there were books which stories narrated by Vivekananda, stories narrated by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So those are the things which actually pulled my interest early on. But who Vivekananda is, what is his contribution, and how much I am in depth to Vivekananda at this moment, I understood much later on during one of the satsangs, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had given, I think in the year 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and I was in Gurukul at that time, and we had just the morning puja, and we were sitting in the satsang, and I think that was one of my first real introductions to Swami Vivekananda, the life he went, and basically it's charisma is one, but also it's that grit, that the powerfulness to say, where Swami Vivekananda travels to another country. Now for us, traveling is nothing. You pick up a flight, you land there after 2 days. But at that time, traveling on a ship to a foreign land in a language which you're not completely comfortable speaking, and addressing a crowd of 3,000 4,000 people, and
Over different culture.
over different cultures, at a religious gathering, and flooring it there with everyone applauding them, the newspapers, everyone talking about it. And so it's at the time when I think when Swamiji had delivered that satsang, I was 13. And now looking back, every time remembering Swami Vivekananda, every time just reading the satsang transcripts or watching the satsang Swamiji has spoken about Swami Vivekananda, as you grow, it just becomes more deeper. You have a better understanding. But then now you've experienced life, or you have more experiences, you have much more to compare with. Now looking at seeing Swami Vivekananda's life from my personal experiences and from where I am standing, it's like I'm completely floored, completely blown away, and it's shocking in a way. It's shocking, and it's inspiring also to see what Swami Vivekananda was able to accomplish in just 10 years of his public life.
Yes. Actually, yes, many people don't know. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares again and again that he had only 9 to 10 years of public life. And that was like when he was around 30. And then he had achieved Mahasamadhi at the age of 39. And that's all. That was his public life. And the number of volumes that came out of him in that time was so much that right now, if somebody has to study his life's works, it would take 25 years of continuous study to learn about Vivekananda, or learn on what he has contributed to the world. And this is something the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shown us. But when I was reading his biography, I understood one thing, that something you won't get like right off the bat. You might have seen a video on him, or you might have heard a story about him. But one thing that you get when you read his life story is you get to know his sincerity to his Guru. You get to learn how in every step, at that time in 1883, it would have been so scary to decide to get on a ship, the cargo ship that one, and then go across the ocean to deliver an address in front of 20,000 strangers. That is something that is
In a foreign language.
Yes, in a language. Of course, Vivekananda had studied English, and throughout his life he had been in.
I think another point actually to highlight is he had lost his father just a few years prior, and then his master also attained Mahasamadhi.
Yeah.
And it is just around this time he decides to take up the path of sannyas, and with all the grace that his mother had also blessed him. But that is still, but his family was still not, taken care of, in the sense they still had to work and find a way to make ends meet. But it was at that time, at the lowest a person can be in their life. No father, master also is gone, the family is struggling. It is at this point when there was no organization, no structure established when they started. It was just a hand, I think 9 to 10 boys, a building. If you in the movie that I just recently watched the movie Vivekananda by Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda by Swami Vivekananda. And that movie, it says that the building they chose, because it was the cheapest building that they could afford, it was infested with snakes. But because that is the only building that they could afford, that is the building they stayed in. And that is the building, even though if food is not there, they lived in that building and they survived in that building by begging, sometimes going without food for months. And it was only after Vivekananda had gone to America and started raising some funds, some money, were they even able to establish an organization properly.
Yes. And yeah, you can read it in his and in the biography as well that he had nothing. He had very struggling at that time. But you would see that normally people will collapse and even mentally collapse at moments when you're being tested. But he, at those moments, he continuously remembered Sri Ramakrishna's words, Sri Ramakrishna's guidance. Because from the early discipleship under Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda was being groomed to be the leader amongst all of the other sannyas, amongst all of the other boys that had become disciples with the Sri Ramakrishna. So he was being groomed, and he was being told again and again that you are going to be the leader, you're going to make a difference in the world. Actually, I wanted to ask one thing, like in our lives and in the way that we go about, we are also sometimes told, and we have an inkling that we are meant for something great. We're meant for something profound. Now, in the life of Swami Vivekananda, he had these inner searches and he sought out, actually his personal quest, why he even found the Swami Ramakrishna, was he was looking for someone who has seen God. That is what he wanted. So he went and asked Ramakrishna, have you seen God? And in that moment he says, Swami quotes this all the time, he says that, I have not just seen God, I have seen him more clearly than I am seeing you right now. As the way Ramakrishna responded, and he touched and gave the initiation to Vivekananda in that moment, and immediately Vivekananda had a spiritual, profound experience, detailedly described in his biography. But I wanted to ask, in the same way, how has Swamiji in your life made that desire that you're meant for something great, you're meant for something powerful? How has Swamiji really pulled that out of us, just like how Ramakrishna did with it?
Yes, Maharaj. For me, I feel it's not that I had a desire, I have to be someone, something, big or great, but I more feel like first I want to be a Swamiji. And he himself, just by continuously guiding us to the completion process, he gives us a new identity. See, from wherever you are before Swamiji, right, or before taking sannyas rather, you don't really know what you went through. You don't have a purpose itself. You're so limited in what you can perceive yourself to be. Mm-hmm. And only you, as from the time you've taken birth to now, right? But you have taken so many other births, and there's so much history to who you are as a being. So as an incarnation, Swamiji can see that and naturally awakens those memories in you, and awakening, completely giving you that different, Paramashivoham experience and different identity. And naturally, with that identity, he comes a lot of responsibility, and naturally, he empowers you also to fulfill that responsibility. So it is something that Guru gives you. I personally don't feel that you have the ability without a Guru to even comprehend that and see that.
Okay.
And again, also if you had been with Swamiji before, you would have probably asked him something, or he already as a Paramashiva would have probably committed something or blessed you for something. So he has a higher integrity than you. So he will be integrated to real you and, your whole history of the past. So he will be giving you that vision.
So where this comes from is some people out there, like they have profound, some inkling that they are not just a body or mind. They're even drawn to spiritual ideas because they somehow feel the idea that truly I am something spiritual. I am something not meant to do something like just a 9-to-5 job. So those people who have that, they are attracted to some.
Yes.
So I'm asking the question into, surely we would have had these thoughts in the past. For me personally, and maybe is this all that is life? But once I came to Swami, as you said, that part became highlight. That part is what he brought out, and that's the possibility that I can live as an enlightened being. I can live as a Vivekananda in my life. So that was I'm trying to address those who don't just feel that they are meant to be someone ambitious or great, but also those who have are seeking for a deeper meaning in life. So that's what it is.
So one more point also I wanted to address that came to me when we were sharing that how Mangala Maharaj was sharing how the organization was established, and that actually organization was not there itself. So the first, like, it reminded me of how Swamiji is saying that first he himself is focusing on building people, right? Because so many organizations are there, so many buildings are there, so many temples are there, but who is going to manage them? And if you see, unless you have that parampara, a guru parampara, any organization, whatever, how big it is, how great or successful it is, within 100 years, it ceases to exist. So only
It's a lesson which you can learn from Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, where there wasn't no infrastructure at the time. It was, whatever they had. But he focused more, he trained, and he gave the importance to the people, to the disciples who he was training. And we can see that, with how Ramakrishna mission, how big and expansive it is and how global it is today. It goes to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa building the people, building his disciples more than the infrastructure. And naturally, you're seeing the result of that.
Yes, and that is the way how, if our viewers may be wondering how a person who is going completely to a new place, new country, to a people who, who are completely have different traditions, religions, and different language, how he was able to make it happen is just because he actually, his guru made sure that he's in the right space, he's established as a being, and everything else just followed, right? So I just wanted to bring that point out.
Yes, and even his dedication to that, how he was able to show to the world. There are many even papers and researches that have been done to be able to show that Vivekananda gave such original thoughts to the West that were never even there before. Whether it is the particular ideas about physics or particular ideas about psychology, modern psychology, and its contributions there. A lot of Western thought was contributed to the way that Vivekananda presented Hinduism. And it was even that which floored the 20,000 people, as you were saying. When he opened his mouth and said, brothers and sisters of America, and went on in the next 5 minutes, actually he had to stop after that because for 5 minutes, everybody was applauding. Some kind of a charisma, some kind of an energy was there. Of course, that comes from a person who has really seen God, as Vivekananda was shown by Sri Ramakrishna. So that charisma was there. 5 minutes, they were having a standing ovation. And after that, he went on to describe Hinduism in such preciseness of exactly how so many Hindus, even today, will reflect what he said. He said into the terms of Hinduism is the mother of religions. And it is something that incubates the possibility of enlightenment for all the people in the world, for all types of people in the world. And like this way, he has shown what Hinduism is to the world. And sometimes what people do, and a lot of what they fail to understand, is how actually very Hindu he was, and very true to his guru's teachings, and true to those understandings. Yes, many people have gone on to show that he has done a lot to break the truths from the Indian subcontinent to the world. But what he had done was he stayed true to the scriptures, spoke about them in the language that people understand in the world. And still those are so relevant and beautiful today. As Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shared, that the volume has Vivekananda's work is so much. And there are lots of anecdotes and stories that that Vivekananda had come out with. One time there was one incident that Swamiji had shared us with, where he was sitting with one of his disciples at his feet, and the disciple was witnessing Swami Vivekananda handle different kinds of people. And there was a rich man who came, and he came and he said something like all of his wealth he can give immediately to Vivekananda. And immediately the Vivekananda told him something like, you can take your wealth and go on with it, because I am not interested in your wealth, I am interested in your enlightenment. And he sent him off. And to the person who had so much of knowledge, like a scholar had come to him, he's telling, why don't you work to contribute this to other people? Why do you sit and only have your scholarly knowledge to yourself? So like this, he would answer people at the space at which they were. Now, just like how we are taught by Guru to bring out the best in us. Sometimes that we have to be challenged. Sometimes we have to be questioned. So the disciple who is sitting and speak asked the question. So for one person, you'll say one thing, and for the other person, you'll say something else. He said, for the person that I said the right thing to the right person, but for you, you're to be a sincere disciple right now. Now continue your work. So like this, he handled everybody at an individualized, personalized level. Something very similar to how we feel connected to Swamiji. Somehow he has a direct, powerful impact on us. And each of us in our own special. So this is one of the beautiful ways that he showed. Even I think he would have gotten it from Sri Ramakrishna himself, who handled all the people who came to him in a similar, just by seeing his guru and being at his feet, and how the enlightened master works to raise you out of your powerlessness and take you to the next level, the next challenge, the next beautiful way of existence. So do you all also have a profound moment or story that you want to share from Vivekananda's story, life story?
I think one, there are many things which happen in just remembering and going through the movie which about Swami Vivekananda by Vivekananda. And the one thing which that the movie does, which you don't find in a lot of books and a lot of biographies, is Vivekananda's own thoughts, Vivekananda's own feelings during that time. And the sacrifice he exhibited throughout his whole 10 years of his public life. And keep in mind, say, we are extremely grateful, lucky, and in a way, we have the luxury of having the Living Master with us today. But imagine Vivekananda, he is given a vision by his master. His master, is no more there physically with him anymore. And he goes in through hardships. He's not able to put food on the table. He's not able to, even when the organization-wise there's nothing, they have no money, no connections, nothing. And from just having a vision from Sri Ramakrishna, he was able to make it into reality, into much more reality that maybe even Ramakrishna and Paramahansa had maybe would have even given him. And all that just the simple word of the master. So for me, it's just thinking, what is that which we can imbibe? What is that which we can do in our lives so that we also become the Vivekananda for our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, for our Swamiji? How can we be that very same Vivekananda? And so one thing which just kept on coming back and back again to me was simple obedience and simple love and simple obedience, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had multiple times throughout the years has shared with us. When you have that one thing to the world, and you know you have the simple love and simple obedience of the master, then naturally everything else follows. And so even it's not like when I'm knowing you at US, everything was, glamorous and gorgeous. True, you had the luxury which America offers, but at the same time, you still had the media backlash from within US. And then you had, from India, there was no support coming in. It was much, much, much later when any news had come back from India, attesting and giving the sense of credibility for Swami Vivekananda. That happened much, much later. And, all the rumors and lies, it's something which we can all very much relate with what's happening this decade, with what's happening over the past couple of years with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as well. And so, that notwithstanding, Swami Vivekananda had gone on and continued after America, went to Europe, and everywhere possible he went in, and then came back to India and established the Ramakrishna mission. And so multiple purposes were filled with that. And I was just thinking how because for us it's a very different way of living. For us it's completely different, where we have the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism always with us, every day giving us the presidential addresses, guiding us, taking us each and every step of the way. The Swami Vivekananda and many people in that case, if you look back in our history, none of them had this. None of them had the luxury which we are having right now. So I think the real question which we all should be asking ourselves is, how can we be the Swami Vivekananda for our time? How can we be the Swami Vivekananda for our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? I think this is one question which you all need to, being the direct disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and much more being the sannyasis, who is going to be carrying on this mission, holding up, being the pillars for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's mission of reviving Kailasa. How can we be the support for this and be Vivekanandas on our own?
Jerry? So I think Mangal Maharaj already answered this question. Yes, I totally agree with this and resonate with this, that just simple integrity and love and obedience to the Guru is the key. And I'm sure this is the way we are being trained, and I'm sure every single sannyasi of Swamiji resonates with this and leans by this. And I would like to invite our viewers also to let us know in the comments and answer this question. How do you feel you can be that Vivekananda for Swamiji? And please let us know in the comments.
Yes. We have, for me also, I think simple love, obedience is the key. And I think we need to create the ecosystem that celebrates and protects that.
Okay.
Again, because of our sanyasapplication, and if you see even the life of Vivekananda, what did he do? Actually, if you want to know, the struggles that he had to go through. At the time when Ramakrishna had left the body, 12 other brothers were there with him. And he had to keep them integrated to sannyas. He had to keep them integrated to continuing the mission. Guru is gone, but we have to do what he says. We have to do his work. He kept on reminding them about their personal love and instructions from it, and reinstating the simple love and obedience to the Guru. He kept that alive. Many of their parents, they were young boys, so many of their parents would come and try to lure them. See, I have a girl for you, you can get married to her, or I have a university course, you can go, you can get a degree. And like this, they would tell. Vivekananda took on the responsibility to fulfill, even if they had some small desire like that. He would teach them physics, he would teach them the philosophies, he would teach them whatever he had learned in school and university and college. So they were equipped to have that knowledge as well. And of course, Vivekananda, is a small, beautiful thing, he's a beautiful singer. And the nightlife and the entertainment and the value of Sanatana Hindu Dharma that he learned from his Guru, which is a completely priest life, a celebrative, like continuously rejoicing the name of God. So that way also he kept them inspired and entertained and trained and enlightened. After getting initiation from the Guru, you're as good as enlightened. So he kept that alive amongst them, and that is how he himself did it. Keeping that, he created that ecosystem that will protect, that all of us want to live in that simple obedience. We want to live with that simple. So that is, I think, one way that we can all take on this role to help create these ecosystems here in all around in all of Kailasa's embassies and temples, and also in a digital way as well, as much as you can. And I think one more takeaway from Vivekananda that helped keep the way that he went about creating and establishing the organization that he did is he kept in touch with hundreds of people, even in that day. See, right now you have ability to do this over the phone. You have WhatsApp and different ways to be able to communicate with people. Zoom calls, you can have 100, 200, 300, 500 people at a time. You can speak to them. At a time when he relied on only letters, people were continuously telling, he will do nothing. He will do only writing letters all day and going to the post office, sending them out. There are literally volumes of books in the Advaita Ashrama, the publication, where it says that those books are just saying letters of Swami Vivekananda. And you can even map his biography by just seeing all of the letters he sent, because he had a 6-year period after Ramakrishna passed away and achieved Mahasamadhi, where he did Parivarajaga himself. He went around to so many places inside India, some of the pilgrimages he had done, and met so many people. From the United States, he kept in touch with them. And with so many people he met with all over the world countries. Letters and letters and letters and letters he would keep on writing. So I think that is also something we should learn, that if we want to be relevant, if we want to really bring the teachings the way that Swamiji is reviving Hinduism, we should continuously keep in touch with as many people as we can and providing that knowledge. And beautifully, we have such an ecosystem where you can, in the digital front, on YouTube, you can comment, you can share, you can ask any question that you want, and we'll be able to reach out to you and let you know more about this lifestyle of sannyas and the way that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is really bringing out the best Vivekanandas today.
Yes, I just wanted to add also how Swami Vivekananda has helped everyone from the starting years of Ramakrishna Mission, and even how he kept in touch with people. I feel that the most we can relate it to how Swamiji is teaching us the collective integrity. And so he was the embodiment of that collective integrity. He took up that responsibility for that smaller group of 6-7 people, and then expanded that to the whole world in India, whoever people he was in touch with. And it is something extremely crucial for each one of us to imbibe, and each one of us, meaning all the people who are watching this and all the disciples of Swamiji also, because each person, Swamiji also has shared many times, is an ecosystem. So, and it can happen only from the collective integrity. So this is something I feel all of us should really become embodiment of, and this is the way we'll be able to, make the Swamiji's mission happen forward. And it can be as simple as if you are a Digimahant or a center coordinator or a temple, having a temple in your locality, just keeping your people together. And if someone is not just saying coming for the meetings or not, fulfilling the commitments which he gave to himself and others, to really help him and support him to feel that collective integrity, to hold the other person to integrity, then only the whole, how Swamiji shares the ship, and the whole thing will be able to stay on float and reach the destination.
It's beautiful how even during the Parivrajika, they spend a lot of time, that when Vivekananda was in Parivrajika, he would also be spending time going to his other brother disciples and taking care of them when they're unwell and holding them again, because they'll be unwell, they'll want to go back to their families, or they want to come out of the lifestyle of sannyas or achieve something. But he kept them inspired. He held them to the collective integrity of being at the feet of the Guru and knowing and giving them even the space that I am there for you, I'll take care of you, anything you need I can provide. Giving that kind of a net is what he did, and he exemplified that. I think it's very important of Hinduism is giving us also that opportunity to be able to weave this net of to save people, so that whenever they feel low or not so inspired, there is a way that we'll be there for them to stand up again and make a difference in their lives and in the lives of everyone around them. So that is one way that in his example as well he showed. And
I think that is one of the biggest blessings and boons of the Sannyas Sampradaya itself, because even if you're outside, even if you have, friends, family, and, all sorts of relationships, how many of them will actually help you when you're in a low? How many of them will you even be able to go and tell that you're in a low mood? Very few.
How many of them will even know that you're in a low mood?
Exactly. So it will be too far to say that there is no one out there who's going to help you. But practically speaking, realistically speaking, how many of them will even find out, get to know, and even if they know, will be able to help you? So that is the most important. Will they be even able to help you? You can of course say, I'll go to therapy, go to this and go to that, but that's the best they can do. But how many are even going to give you the solution? And so it is for this very reason, the Sannyas Sampradaya is something which is, and that's with the longest lasting thing. Families come and go, everything comes and goes, but Sannyas Sampradaya has been there, it's been there for generations, and the record is there for so many thousands of years. It's being maintained. Why? Because it's the most practical way of existence. Yes, we're always going to be going into lows, we're always going to be having problems, but not only you have the Guru holding you to the highest, to your highest possibility, but you have other people, you have your peers who are also who are also working towards living the highest possibility and going to help you also to come along with you. And so this can only be done with the ecosystem under, at the feet and with the blessings of the enlightened master, in our case of the Avatar, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And we have multiple ecosystems where you can experience the Sannyas Sampradaya, most importantly, the Kenya Kailasa. And so for those of you who want this ecosystem, this brotherliness, we're directly working under the guidance at the feet of the Master, the feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and having an amazing brotherhood of sannyasis who's going to help you, not just to come out of depression or just to help in your life, but help you be the best version you can possibly be for yourself. Please reach out. The WhatsApp number as well as landing page will be linked. All of this will be linked in the description, as well in the chat where you can go and reach out to us.
That is very important, especially among the Hindu diaspora around the world. I was just reading a report on how many murder-suicides have been there among the Hindu diaspora around the world because they didn't have access. Of course, it is unfortunate
Amongst Hindus.
Yeah. So it is amongst the Hindus and those who are of the Hindu origin, of course. And there's this somehow a stigma to not have to open up about yourself, tell about your problems to your parent, or tell about your problems to someone else in your life. Something is looked down upon it, and it's like the parents will have to somehow manage the situation or tell that it is all inside your head. And these are some of the terms that they tell. Whereas if you see the way the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is here, providing the space for someone to discover themselves in his Paramashivoham programs, you'll see that it's a real opportunity. Because even if you see any story in Hinduism, right?
They are going to be able to help if they themselves don't know. Yeah, that's the real problem actually. They themselves don't know, and that's why they're not able to help the concern.
Yes.
I feel that mostly it's all to do about the ecosystem of initiated disciples. Because if you're in a family, and naturally, all the mothers and parents will be caring for a kid, but at most you'll be able to give a consolation, right? If they're not initiated, if they don't have that third eye awakened to have the ability to look into the thought currents and answer the thought current and complete it, so then they will not be able to do that basically. So that is only possible when you have an ecosystem, and that is exactly what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is bringing out and making it available absolutely free for everyone.
More than having the ability, I think is more of a priority. Because even if you are a mother, you're a mother and you have 2 kids, naturally, yes, you are going to be taking care of them, and you have been taking care of them for so long. But the point comes in your life where there are no more kids, there are no more not even teenagers, but they're young adults, and so the life problems which they themselves have not figured out. And even if they are initial disciples, will they be able to give the complete transformation to them? Even if their family, the whole family is connected to Swamiji. Is enlightened. The only enlightened person is the Master. So the best solution which you can give to them is the solution of leading them to the Master in the Paramashivoham Program, or doing Pada Puja, getting direct blessings from the Master. But more than that is the best thing anyone can do.
Yes. The ecosystem you should create, as you were saying, the initiated disciple, yes, they may be there. But the work that we need to do is, am I aligning this person's? Because that is a beautiful way to have a continued relationship, right? That is how the Sannyas Sampradaya works. Like a sannyasi, he's sitting in the road in the middle of the street, or he's a part of an organization. He's there. If he opens his mouth, he's going to open his mouth to tell someone how to go to God, or how to rejuvenate themselves, how to be powerful. That is the way he is. That is what the symbol of him is. It comes from all of the stories in the Puranas. A hero becomes distraught and leaves his family and leaves when he finds a sannyasi. Sannyasi tells him something powerful, right? And his whole life changes after that. That is the role of a sannyasi. It's a significant role. It is unfortunately being marginalized. And something be pulled out of the whole thing. And if that's pulled out, you will have something, material infrastructure, but you'll have not even the essence of. You won't have the spirit behind the Lord, the spirit behind a temple or something. It stays alive with these sannyas sampradayas. They really do a lot to make sure that the spirituality, and that is kept visible, aligning with the Guru, listening to the teachings of the Guru. So I think in answer to your question, that even inside the Kailasa ecosystems, we should encourage everyone, as you said, to be an ecosystem independent.
I think that is one of the greatest blessings which Vivekananda had in his life, where his mother did not prevent him or did not stop him from becoming a sannyasi. and one of the greatest blessings, and how much maturity even the mother would have had at that time, to be able to give up her eldest, to give up her, most, I don't know if he was the eldest, but he was an important part of the family. Vivekananda was definitely an important part of the family. And after his father died, he was the one who was, at least tries to, who was giving trying to put bread and trying to put food on the table. So at such a low point of their life, she had the maturity and she had the, I don't know what to say, but it was a great blessing where she was able to give up as Vivekananda for the mission.
Including Swamiji's parents.
Yes,
Swamiji's own parents. They say, I don't know, listen to your gurus. Listen to your gurus. No, and they'll put him always in a situation where he'll have to listen to his gurus. And it has to, even that is even a lot more, because you have the pressure from the mom. Mom's going to be telling me, I have to listen to what guru said. I have to do the yoga that Jagapati Yogi says. I have to study the book that Vivekananda Devi tells us. So in this way, his parents also play a role. So I think more and more.
I think that is what our next generation should also be.
Yes.
Our grandmothers, grandfathers, the only way to help their kids and the next generation is leading them more and more towards the Guru.
Yes. And especially at the rate at which we have seen that they are not even accessible to them to give any solution. They're saying it is all in your head, or you just have to manage it, like that kind of a solutions for any low mood that your kid may be going. Rather, our tradition itself provides a mature solution to this, saying that listen to the Guru, find meaning in these kind of things in their life. I think that is what is missing in a lot of these households that we would reach out to, and as Kailasa ecosystems themselves bring that out inside the household itself. That kids have an opportunity to discover themselves, and here's the way to do it. And even one of the things that I've seen, what brings about the greatness inside a Hindu family is, of course, we always see we get a limited choice. Like you could either become a doctor or you can become an engineer, and nothing in between. So this limited choice, I think, also should expand to maybe you can also learn from the teachings of a guru and be his disciple. This also can be a career path. This sannyas lifestyle can be a career path.
Also, there is something about responsibility to make sannyas as something which is not a stigma. To make sannyas something which people aspire to be. If you ask any kid what do they want to be, at this generation, from what I've seen, people at least in schools, they say that they want to be a YouTuber. And so I think it's because how much they interact with them, how much of exposure they're having with them, and how much those YouTubers are able to enrich and able to contribute back to the kids' life. Because fundamentally, that's what it is, right? You want to be the person who has contributed most to you. And so when we take on this responsibility of contributing as much as possible to people, as much as possible, not just, to our own Sangha members, but reaching out to every single kid, every single mother, father, every single person alive, then naturally, okay, this person has contributed so much to my life. I want to be like them. I want to be contributing like them. I want to be happy, inspiring. I want to be charismatic like them. This is something which we need to actively, this is something which is our responsibility. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has done above and beyond, of bringing us here, of initiating us, teaching us, keeping us on the path, continuously keeping us inspired, and moving towards in the direction of for us to be the best possible version of ourselves. So it's our responsibility to make this something which people aspire for, something which will be so nice to become a sannyasi, and to give that kind of a feeling to them. So this is something which we need to fulfill, and we need to carry on, like how Swami Vivekananda, Adi Shankaracharya, all of them have done. This is something which needs to be done, yes.
And I think one of the things that, as you said, YouTube brings out, and the whole way of being able to broadcast yourself onto the world on the internet is you get to document and show your own life. So encouraging every member, Kailasa's e-citizens and everyone to start putting out your powerful submissions and experiences onto the YouTube. Document your life. You won't know who will inspire, who will find your video, and who will be able to relate with your experience with the Guru. Somebody may be having the same background or the same life experiences you have had. So if they see your video, it is a possibility for them. So I think it's a collective responsibility.
Yes, and also, Mahesh, it cannot be like a passive kind of enriching, when life brings a certain person in front of you and you just enrich them about Swamiji. It has to be active enriching.
Okay.
Like, see, how we can best contribute to people's life. Of course, it is through the Paramashivoham program. Because in that program, you can find solution for literally any problem you can possibly face in life, be it like a money problem, or you have a headache, or, migraines, or you have some health issue. For any such, problem or challenge in your life, you can find solution in Paramashivoham program, because it's filled with so much of, powerful content and powerful cognitions and processes which directly heal you, like completion process, for example. And more than that, every day people experience initiations from Swamiji, and they get an opportunity to directly ask Swamiji a question and receive the blessings through all the various social medias like Facebook, YouTube, and two-way Zoom video conferencing and Kailasa TV also. So, and enriching this knowledge to people actively, not just waiting for them to come to you, but calling every single person who may have a problem. First of all, finding what is the issue they are facing first. Everyone will find some issue, right? And finding out what is that.
Yeah.
And then showing them how attending Paramashivoham will help them heal that, or overcome the challenge which they're facing. And the very important thing, which I personally learned being in the KAILASA's causing department, that you should show the person how the incompletion or the hesitation towards the, either offering the Pada Puja or, deciding to register for the Paramashivoham, and to show that how this hesitation or pattern is not allowing them to move in their daily life. How from, like, be it a business, how you're hesitating to, let's say, make a Pada Puja payment or register for the Paramashivoham, that hesitating pattern, you will be hesitating so many places in your actual life, and how you would have missed so many things in your life because of this pattern. The moment the person sees that, he will have that shift, and he'll really want to decide for something like this. So having these powerful techniques and tools, and really having the genuine desire and commitment to help people, and reaching actively to to each people, and causing their reality by through the Paramashivoham or various different service which Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and KAILASA is offering, is something as Hindus we all should do extremely actively.
Mm-hmm.
Then only we'll be able to, because see, Hinduism is literally in ICU. Just because of Swamiji, I'm just saying it straight, right? Just because of Swamiji, he's bringing that glory, he's bringing the whole thing back single-handedly and reviving it. So we have to be that shoulder for him. We have to take the responsibility and continue to revive. And it has to happen. It can happen only by active enriching and intensely actively through collective integrity and reaching people and asking those people to reach to people that expand and build the team and build the ecosystem for each person. How we share, it has to become an ecosystem. And just one point, that it is a survival need that we have to realize and we have to wake up to.
Yes, and I think that is even there in the letters of Swami Vivekananda, how he would have told everybody, how he involved in everybody's life. He would ask audience, how is that person doing? How is this person doing? How have you come together? Have you resolved this issue that you have with this person? And really involving, that is, in following in the same footsteps, and the urgency with which he did it, he set a trend. After that, disciples of Sri Ramakrishna kept in touch and really expanded that mission. And in that same way, if we do the same thing of actively involving in people's lives and getting to know the solutions and relating them to the processes in the Paramashivoham program, whether you have a wealth problem, whether you have a incompletion with your parents, or you have an incompletion with your body, whatever it may be, there are solutions there, and helping them map those and bringing those solutions, that is a possibility of how we can really cause their reality in their lives.
Yes, and you can find the link to the Paramashivoham where you can register, and you can also have this link and share with people who will be enriching and causing. So you can find that link in the description.
Yes, and we have actually one last story I think Subhadra Maharaj wanted to share with everyone. I think this is a very profound story that really sets apart the Western thought and what Swami Vivekananda had to bring to the whole world.
It just shows how the words of an enlightened being can impact not just the life of one person, but shape and shape the way how the civilization is, going forward.
Yeah, it can change the whole history.
Exactly. So this actually incident happened in the life of John D. Rockefeller, who, if you don't know, he is a family of very powerful and rich people. And one of this John D. Rockefeller, he wanted to meet Swami Vivekananda. So first time he wanted to meet, he was not able to due to some circumstances. Then second time when he came and met Swami Vivekananda did not even look at him actually. And then after some time when they started, they engaged in the conversation, and Swami Vivekananda in a very short period of time was able to understand and realize that it's not a ordinary person. He has a lot of wealth also. And just very straight, he told him, you have so much of wealth. Why don't you share it with people? Why don't you start contributing to people? So immediately, no one ever spoke to John Rockefeller like that in his life, probably even once, right? And he got really angry, actually. It really shook his ego and identity, and he just walked off. And after some time, after a week, he wanted to meet Swami again. And this time, when he came, he actually came and he just, you can say, put, threw a paper on the table in front of Swami. And then he told that, see, I have contributed something. He basically contributed to a certain organization some amount of money. And he said, see, I've contributed, so now you must be very happy. And you should thank me. For it. He said to Swami Vivekananda. Then Swami Vivekananda only took the paper and read it, and then he said, "Actually, it is for you to thank me." And those words really transformed John Rockefeller. And this was, first of all, the first contribution he really made towards something towards something contributing to people, directly being useful in their life.
I think this kickstarted the trend of charity in the West.
Yes, and naturally after that, in 10 years or so, he established the famous Rockefeller Foundation, which did so much good work, and a lot of wealth, and has been used for the good for the people. And that, as Mangala Maharaj shared, has set a trend for other organizations like Bill and Melinda Gates and other organizations who took that trend and started giving money for charity and giving back to society and contributing from what they have created as well. So just to show how this one word from the enlightened being has the capacity not only to transform one person's life, but to transform so many millions of lives and help so many people and really shape the way the civilization is evolving.
Yes, and I think enlightened masters, they know who to tell what. They know where it's going to hit. Where
Power of listening.
Yeah, the power of such deep, multi-dimensional listening. You know where this person is going to be in the future. I think, as you said, when as Vivekananda would have had a conversation with him, he would have understood what this guy is going to go about going to make. That he simply understood, okay, then he knows what to tell it. So then he has to do the right thing. Of course, as you said, he wasn't very happy with that first conversation. He got very frustrated and came back. But that's what they do. The enlightened masters, they trigger the ultimate possibilities in us. And sometimes that's a surgery to remove the tumors of impossibility. They do even with their words. Once those are removed, such possibilities happen. So I think we can take this moment to even take and understand the words that we have received from Swamiji and treasure them. Really understand that they are going to impact our lives in a multi-dimensional way going into the future.
And not just only our lives, but lives of so many people with whom our life is connected.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, so many beautiful sharings today about Swami Vivekananda. Celebrating in Kailasa today Swami Vivekananda's Jayanti. We're going to be offering rituals, puja to Swami Vivekananda, following the Sampradaya set forth inside the Ramakrishna Mission. And so thank you all for joining us, and we hope to share more about these various insights into Hinduism as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So thank you all for joining today's discussion, and we hope to be giving you more content as such. So please give us your suggestions, your feedback, and it's all very valuable to us. It helps us understand your listening, and we would like to learn what that is and share back with you. So thank you for joining. My name is Sri Nithyananda Maharaj with Sri Sukadananda Maharaj and Sri Nithya Mangalananda Maharaj. Thank you. Nithyanandam.